Or in Chapter 5, Development. To study development, we have three different kinds of research. The first one is called the cross-section. Cross-section studies is you compare the groups of individuals of different age simultaneously. The advantage, that's quick. If you're a graduate student, you probably want to do this. You just find a group of people at age 10, a group at age 20, and until a group at age 80. And you can compare the data. But remember, there's no perfect research design. There are always some pros and cons. So for this kind of study, it's quick, but disadvantage. Well, you compare different people, and the people in the 80s, they don't grow up with those digital devices. They don't have cell phone. And compare with the kids you recruit at age 10, well, their growing environment are totally different. They know how to use tablet before they know how to turn on the TV. So that's the cons part. And if you really want to study the same groups of people, how they develop, you're going to use this longitudinal studies. You're going to take forever, right? So you're going to recruit a group of people after they were born and recruit them every 5 years. They come back, you do the experiment, and you hope they still come back when they turn adult or turn into the 80. And you need to live long enough to finish the experiment. This looks good, but very unpractical. So turn out they come up with this called sequential design. This is more practical. It's not as good as this one, but it won't take forever. This is you recruit probably the PhD student. They're gonna stay in graduate school for 5 years. They can do this. They recruit a group of people at age 10, and another age 15, another age 20. And they study them for 5 years. So now you have data from age 10 to 15 and data from 15 to 20. It's not perfect as this one, but at least it's better than this one. So we have 3 different kinds of studies. And the development can be divided into the prenatal and postnatal development. And today we're going to focus on the prenatal part. So there's the growth before the baby is born. Okay, where it starts? So this sperm starts from here, right? You probably don't want to have the life of sperms. Not a very good life. Over 99.9% of them die. So they start from here. They will swing up across the whole uterus. How big is the sperm? Is a cell. The uterus, if you go to HEB, you take a pair, you reverse it, that's the size of the uterus. So the sperm have to swim across the whole uterus. This is like I throw you in the middle of Pacific Ocean and say, good luck, swim your way home. That's their life. So they're gonna swim from here all the way up to here. And the sperm's like a basic environment. Inside the uterus, the pH is acidic. It's about 3.8 to 4.5. So it's an acidic environment. So now these sperms are swimming in the, not in the Pacific Ocean, in the vinegar. And they keep dying. So they start from here, they go all the way up to here. They start from millions. And when they reach here, they only have a few thousands. When they reach here, okay, they face the most important life choice, left turn or right turn. And 50% choice, because every month only one ovary is ovulating. So they have to quickly make the choice. They make the wrong turn, okay, too bad. Thousands of sperms are ahead of you. So now they're swimming in the fallopian tube. Inside the fallopian tube, they have cilia. Cilia is like a finger-like structure, and they will move. And the purpose is to move the egg. After ovulation, the egg gonna go to the fallopian tube. And the egg won't be able to swim, so they need the cilia to push the egg to here. But this wave push the sperms, so now these sperms are like swimming against the wave, and they start from thousands. When they reach here, a few hundreds. And when they have a few hundreds, when they reach here, if the egg comes, they have 24 hours. The egg only survives for 24 hours. And the first one take all. The first one is the winner, and that's the fertilization. So fertilization happens inside the fallopian tube. It's not a very easy job if you think about the whole process. That's why we have a lot of couples, they have problem for having baby. Could be the sperms count. If you don't have enough sperms, all of them die before they reach here. And could be the fallopian tubes problem if they got blocked. Or it could be the uterus. To have a baby, you need to have a sperm, an egg, and a uterus. So the fertilization happens inside the fallopian tube. And after fertilization happens, the zygote, so the zygote, the fertilized egg, will start to do mitosis. Mitosis is cell division. They will divide from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8, keep dividing. And the cilia inside the fallopian tube will keep pushing it down. It takes about 7 days to reach here. If they could not reach here, it's pretty serious problem because they keep growing. They're growing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if they could not reach here, they stay here and the embryo will become too big. It can rupture the fallopian tube and cause serious inner bleeding, and the woman can die. So they will reach here. It takes about 7 days, ideally. And when they reach here, this embryo have about 200 cells. And these cells, we call them embryonic stem cell because all of them are identical. And they have the ability to differentiate into any kind of cells. So that's embryonic stem cells. We talk about the stem cell research. That's why it's so ethically controversial. If you believe life happens at fertilization and you want to take those embryonic stem cells, you have to kill the embryo. And after they reach here, okay, to have a baby, you need to have a sperm, you need to have an egg, you need to have a uterus. The embryo need to have implantation. And the cells of the embryo and the cells of the inner wall of the uterus, they grow together. They're going to grow placenta. And in the first trimester of pregnancy, the most important thing is the placenta development. They need to provide enough oxygen and nutrients for the embryo to develop. And if that part does not develop well, the whole thing can be washed out and start over, can be miscarriage. And this video shows you the embryo development. So in the first few weeks, that's embryonic stage, from week 2 to week 8. And during this time, we call it embryo. We don't call it a baby yet. The embryo need to develop, and the most important thing is placenta. This blood network need to form. And placenta is also an endocrine organ. After the placenta grow, it can produce the female sex hormone, progesterone. And this hormone can help to tell the brains, okay, the baby take this place, so don't ovulate. That's how the birth control pill work. High dosage of female sex hormone make the brain think you're pregnant because placenta are supposed to release the high dosage of female sex hormone to inform the brain and this place been taken. And also this high dosage of female sex hormone, progesterone, can help the inner wall of the uterus maintained. So the placenta grow stronger and stronger in the 9 months. And also the female sex hormones dosage keep growing during those 9 months. And this part tell you, okay, the baby's blood and the mom's blood, actually they communicate. That's why the pregnant woman need to be careful of what they take in the body because a lot of drug, medicines, toxic molecules can go from the mom's blood and go through this to the embryo's blood and can harm the embryo. In the development, the nervous system is a big system. So it starts to develop around week 3 to 4. It starts from the neural plate. So the embryo is going to develop into a plate. And this plate is going to grow longer, become a neural tube. So this tube is going to grow into a whole nervous system. And the placenta has 3 layers. So these 3 layers, one layer is for the nervous system. And the second layer, that's for the muscle and the cardiovascular system. And the third layer is for the whole digestive system, GI tract. And let's focus on the nervous system. The nervous systems, it takes every minute to develop because the nervous system in human is huge. it takes about the whole 9 months to develop. And after the baby is born, the nervous system will keep growing. Human's brain takes forever to grow, take about 18 years to grow. So it's gonna quickly proliferation, mitosis, cell division all the time, because they need to grow into 100 billions of neurons, not just body cells, billions of neurons. Only neuron count 100 billions. They start from one cell. And they will differentiate into different kinds of nervous systems, neurons, like the retina cells, the rods and cones. They can develop into different neurons, different kind of nervous cells. And this video tells you the embryo development. You can take a look. And during the embryo development, they have different terms. So the fertilized egg, they call it zygote. And from 2 to 8 weeks, they don't call it fetus, they call it embryo. So from in the first trimester, 2 to 8 weeks, that's the embryo. After 8 weeks, it's called the fetus. And let's look at the development time. So this is the time scale from 0 to 9 months. And this each organ, their development. Reproductive system take about 5 months. So in your second trimester, and you go to do the pregnant woman go to do the check, and they can tell you, okay, it's a boy or girl, because they can tell. And these are the organs development in the central nervous system. Start from week 3 and go all the way to 9 months. It takes the whole 9 months to develop. So during those 9 months, it keeps doing mitosis. It means if you damage the DNA, mitosis is the DNA duplicate and then the cell duplicate. And if the DNA goes wrong, everything after that will be wrong. And that's why the embryo is very, very susceptible to all kind of toxic molecules, because if you go wrong here and all after that, it will be wrong. So you need to be very careful for the food, the drug, the medicine you take, and avoid any toxic molecules, including alcohol, in pregnant women. Okay, let's look at the brain development. So during those prenatal development, the brain takes a long time to develop. About 7 weeks, you can see the brain structure, the high brain and midbrain, those area control movement. So they can have a little bit of movement. About 36 weeks, and the baby start to have the REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. That's the time start to dream. So babies start to dream. You don't remember your dream when you were 36 weeks, but they're capable of doing that. And the cortical part is relatively inactive during that part. So we'll talk about this. Human's brain is not fully cooked after we are born. We're not designed to be born and thrown into the forest and grow. The human baby need a lot of helper, need a primary caretaker, and also need a lot of stimulus, because the cerebral cortex, even though they are equipped with 100 billion of neurons, and those connections, the key is the connection part, it's neural network. Those axons and dendrites, they need to connect. They need a lot of stimulus, a lot of stimuli. And that's why the parents purchase those expensive toys for the baby, those colorful, those with sound, and keep giving the baby a lot of stimuli, and eventually they're going to trigger the cerebral cortex development. This part, cerebral cortex, is what makes a human. Human have the most complicated cerebral cortex, and that's the interesting part. This part gonna happen after the baby is born. Let's take a short break.